Good afternoon. It is Wednesday, the 14th of August, 2024. I am the Wolfman, and I want to talk to you about the phrase, it's hard to relax. Now, if I'm doing a video, you can guarantee that this is something that I have just solved for myself, and I'm trying to put the solution out there while it's still fresh. So I am not preaching to you from a pulpit. If I am preaching from the trenches. Um, Basically, I've been dealing with some anxiety over uncertainty in my life because I'm going through what they call a midlife crisis, for lack of a better term. I don't think it's actually a crisis. I think it's natural and normal, and I don't think we should put it down. I also don't think that the solution is a sports car and a 20-year-old girlfriend. Um, but I do think that you get to this point in life and you go, okay, well, that's everything that I did, and that's a pretty good data set. And now I've determined that maybe maybe I was on the wrong path about certain things. Maybe like this is not like these are the things that went well, and these are the things that didn't go well, and these are the things that I'm happy about, and like I've got enough experience um, to say, you know, the kind of life that I actually want to be living, and compare it to the kind of life that I am living. And I think it's pretty natural to go through that. I think everybody like should go through that at some point. Somewhere between like 35 and 45, you should have enough data to look at your life and be like, well, this is working or it isn't working, and yet you're not too old to change course. Um, like even if I don't eat healthy and take care of myself, I've got at least you know another 30 years um, of health span left in this body. Um, and so 25 25 years of health span left in this body if I don't like really you know go overboard on anything. um, I can be 65 before I really fall apart. So even if I neglect myself, I'm not really probably looking at a heart attack any younger than 65 or so. So that's almost as much time left to accomplish something or to do things differently as I've had so far. So it's a good it's a the term midlife crisis I think is an unfortunate one. Um, I think this is a good place to reflect, and like hopefully you've built up enough capital or something. You've built something that you can rest on for a little while and actually think. Whereas like when you're just getting out in the workforce, living paycheck to paycheck, it's very difficult to stop and to slow down and to think. Um, but none of that is really the point. The point is I was thinking about what I'm going to do and like deadlines and stuff, and I'm not used to having time to think. To be honest, I'm used to having a lot of it externally imposed structure in my life, which I don't like, but it has its uses and its benefits. You can sort of turn your brain off to some degree and just be like, well, like whatever happens this weekend, I got to get up and I got to be at work on Monday. And it sucks the life out of me, like maybe it is for some people, maybe it's a good way to live. I doubt it. Like I'm with Dolly Parton. Um, she's the one that sang no, 9 to 5, isn't she? Dolly Parton. 9 to 5, way to make a living. Um, and yeah, at around around this time of life, I do find it a little more difficult to tumble out of bed and stumble to the kitchen and pour myself a cup of ambition. But yeah, so I'm used to like sort of being a slave to the clock and the work schedule and not having a lot of time to sit around and think. And so I've been having this time off, and I'm like, I really don't want to jump back into this same cycle. Um, and so I'm not going to. But how am I going to eat? because the money that I've got saved up is not going to last forever. It's not even gonna. It's not going to last the rest of my life. It's not going to last. I'm um, I'm spending money and I'm not making any right now, and that makes me nervous. I would like to like I'd like to be sitting around. I know this for a lot of people living a paycheck to paycheck. This might sound ambitious, but I think it's reasonable to want, even if it's not reasonable to expect to achieve. I would like to be sitting around $10,000 in the bank. That's not for anything. It's not saving up for a car or a house. It's none of that. It's just the balance. Money comes in, money goes out, and it sits around 10,000. Um, that's where I'd like to be in order just to be comfortable that if my income sources dry up, then I've got about 3 months um, without changing my lifestyle to figure out how to fix it. I'm sure I could make 10,000 last longer than that, and I'm sure that I could spend it faster than that. But I think without putting a lot of thought into it, if I had 10,000 and the income was not more than the spending, then it would stay. You know, then if I lost the income, then I would know I had 3 months to fix the problem. Which a problem that you've got 3 months to fix is not an emergency. Like you could take a week off, kick your feet up, count ceiling tiles if you've got 3 months to solve your biggest problem. So that's what I would like, and I'm not there. Um, the idea of going back to work as a mechanic for indefinitely, not interested. Um, but the point was relaxation. So that's all set up. That's all my situation. So this is where the anxiety is coming from. It's like I'm about to leap out into the unknown and try something new. Something I have a tried and true. Um, I have a trade. I'm an aircraft mechanic, and I could continue to do this. Practically speaking, I could continue to do this forever. But the thought of doing this for the rest of my life makes me want to blow my brains out, and so I think that's a pretty good reason to to do something else. And so, if you follow me, you probably know that I want to open a retreat center. There's a lot of reasons why that hasn't happened yet, but there's no good reasons why I can't like really start working in that direction now. I can. This is a thing I can do. I've broken it down into bite-sized pieces. Um, my friend Jack called it a minimum viable product. I've got a minimum viable product that I feel confident that I can build um, with the resources that I have now. The only problem is if I go back to work, the additional energy that I need to build this minimum viable product, which is a 1 day meditation clinic, um, the job sucks my energy and it sucks my time and it sucks my soul. Um, and these are my three least favorite places to be sucked on. It's not pleasurable. So all that's going on, and I'm going for my walk, which I give myself as a little treat every day. I try to, anyways, give myself an hour every day where I just walk and I think and I daydream and I don't try to solve anything, but things get solved, but nothing specific. Just whatever wants to be thought about, whatever my brain wants to think about, I let it think, and sometimes I complete a thought, and sometimes I don't. Tying up loose ends is an indulgence, and I just go out there and I go for a walk. And things do get solved, and it is healthy, both physically and mentally, for me to do this. But that's not the primary reason for the walk. Primary reason for the walk is that it's something I can do every day, and I always enjoy it. So it's a little gift. 1 hour a day, I spend walking. And if I look back at my life and I spend an hour a day walking, I can at least say, well, that hour every single day, that 1/16th of my waking life, was good. Yes, this was a life worth living. I enjoyed at least for that hour a day, I enjoyed it. And I feel like I can afford to give myself that, practically speaking. And then that's 1/16 of my life solved. So then that just leaves like 8 hours is solved because that's sleep. So that's eight, 24ths. So I just take that right off the top and I cut it into 16 hours. And I say if I can walk for an hour a day, that's an hour a day solved. And that can be a pleasant experience, which it is. It's reliably pleasant. Um, I really don't think I've ever had a bad walk, even if I was hungover, ill. Um, and solutions don't work forever. So there are imaginable circumstances where walking might not be a good solution for that hour a day anymore. But with a little luck, inshallah, Lord willing, the creek don't rise, I've got that 16th of my life solved. And so that's what the walk is actually about. But things do get solved, and things come up to be dealt with, and I deal with them, and I daydream, and I have a generally good time, and it's a little minimal exercise because my exercise goal, really, above everything else, is to be able to walk when I'm 94, if I make it that far, to be able to walk 6 miles and climb a tree. If I can do that, then it's worth going on. If I can't do that, then like physically, what am I doing? Like might as well just go ahead and die if I'm so old that I can't walk 6 miles and climb a tree. I don't want to be one of these old people that can't get around. That's my main exercise goal. Anyway, so those two things are accomplished, I think, by going for a walk. Um, so I'm out walking. You got the context of my life, and I'm out on my walk, and this thought that like I've got all this anxiety coming up, and I should just relax. And fair enough. But then, of course, because my thought process is often dialogical, I have a response to that. I have a response to that. I'm witnessing these voices argue inside my head. And they're not like those voices. They're me, they're my thoughts, but like they do come across as two different viewpoints, arguing back and forth, dialogical, as I said. And so the argument goes, you need to relax. Like, why do I need permission to relax? Like, I've always got this steady paycheck, and I don't have that right now, and so this anxiety is coming up. Like I should be out doing stuff, but at the same time, like I don't want to. I just want to lay. I want to lay around for a few days. I've been working. I've been working, maybe not hard, but a lot of hours, um, where I don't have enough free time for myself, enough time to really rest and recover, for well over a year without a real break. And these 2 day breaks, they keep you going, but they're not a vacation. Um, I think 2 weeks a year is not enough. 4 weeks a year is not enough. So, but I haven't even had that. I've had 2 days off. You know, the occasional 3 or 4 days off over at least the last year, because yeah, no, I went directly from job to job to job, and then I worked 9 months in a third job. So yeah, it's been like a year and a half since I've had any real time off. So I'm taking some time off, but I'm worried about like the end of the time off coming and me not being settled on what I'm going to do. I was like, you need to get out there and you need to solve these things. At the same time, like I need to rest, and so this anxiety prevents the rest. And it's like you just need to trust that everything's going to be okay. At the end of the day, I'm going to die. That's how the story ends. I already know that. Um, the consequences of not making any of these deadlines are not real. Like if I mess up the deadline for school, I can go next semester. If I mess up the deadline for going back to work, if I want to go back to work for a little while, make a little money before I go to school, then I can get another job, or I can go start work a couple weeks later. This is not real. Like you just need to relax. And the response, and now we finally get to the point. The response in my head was, it's hard to relax. And immediately I woke up. Um, because, like I said, I'm out on my walk. I'm kind of daydreaming. I'm just letting my thoughts flow and talk back and forth to each other. And I'm not really supervising them. I'm just walking. And then all of a sudden I heard that and I was like, "What? It's hard to relax?" No, 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 no. It is never hard to relax. Okay? And I know a lot of like this phrase is out there. It's in the vernacular. And that this is why it comes up in my head. People will tell you it's hard to relax. It's not hard to relax. That's I don't want to bypass your experience. If you're having an experience that it's hard to relax, okay, okay. You're trying to relax, you're wanting to relax, and it feels hard. Fine, fair enough. That is your experience. And don't let anybody, including me, tell you that it isn't. Some sweaty guy sitting in his yard yapping at his camera phone. Um, who am I? What do I know? Okay. If your experience is that it's hard to relax, fine. But I think I think that if you think it's hard to relax, you're living in an illusion. And aren't we all? We're all living in an illusion. But you've stumbled into a specific part of the illusion that I can help you take apart if you'd like to get a little bit closer to the truth. The truth is that the idea that it's hard to relax or you need to try to relax is a fallacy. Relaxation is easy. It is the easiest thing that there is. It is synonymous with easy. Um, to take it easy and to relax are the same thing. Ease is a state of mind. And so you can always relax. There's no trying to relax. You either relax or you don't. You're either relaxing or you're trying. You're not trying to relax. You are either relaxing or you are trying is applying effort. And we've talked about trying before, like the whole Yoda, there is no try, do, or do not thing. That that seems silly, and it's so overstated and misunderstood and used by nerds and, said by a green swamp gremlin in a 70s sci-fi movie. But there is truth to it. If you like, it's a little nugget, and if you don't understand it, then it's just a cliche that passes by. But if you really understand it, like say there's a 100-pound weight and somebody tells you to lift it up. Well, okay, well, I'll try. You're not wrong, but that's a shorthand. That's not what's really going to happen. What's really going to happen, what you're in control of, what you're intending to do, is to get over by the weight, squat down, grab it, and exert as much upward pressure as you think you can or as you think you need to in order to lift the weight. There is no confusion in that. There is no doubt about whether or not you will grasp it, whether you will exert this pressure. The only doubt is the outcome. So you're not going to try for an outcome. You're going to apply effort. Okay? You're going to exert, and this is the language. The reason we say, well, I'll try, is because it's a lot easier than saying, well, I will exert upward pressure on this weight, and it will either lift or it will not based on the laws of physics. But that's what's actually happening. There is no try. Not really. That's what that means. But when you say to try, it generally involves applying effort. So you're going to apply some force, some effort to something. So you can either apply force and effort to something, which I will continue to refer to as try because I'm a human English speaker and I'm not going to do all that every time. But you're either going to try or you're going to relax. So to try to relax is a silly thing to think. Just relax. Okay. And then the only other real caveat to that is there is this thing called cramping. And so, like, you can flex a muscle, which is like trying, or you can relax. Okay? And see, like, there's a minimum amount of tension that is required to hold my arm up. Okay. So, release all the unnecessary tension. Still holding my arm up, so there's some tension, but I'm relaxed. Or I can relax completely and drop it. But you can relax as much as you can relax. Okay? Or you can flex. But there is a third thing that happens, which is cramping. So I might be sitting here trying to relax, and my arm might just cramp. Oh, I can't relax. Well, you can relax. Okay, so I can relax everything except for the cramp. I'm relaxed, but I'm still cramping. And you massage it out, and you can be like, all right, should probably get some electrolytes and so on and so forth. Um, but you can still relax as much as you can relax. And that thing that is cramping, that's not you. Not in the sense of like, who am I and what can I do? Okay, I can relax. But if I can't relax that, that means that that's not me. That's my shoulder, and I can't relax it. It's cramping. We have a metaphorically, like the same thing happens in our minds and our spirits and our psychology. You can have brain cramps or emotional cramps. You can have persistent um, invasive thoughts, and you can't stop thinking them. I'm like, okay, well, if you can't stop, then it's not you doing it. Your brain is just putting out this thought over and over again, and you can go, okay, well, there's that thought again. Don't have to believe it, don't have to do anything about the thought, but there's the thought. Or the same thing happens with an emotion. You're watching a Doctor Who, and somebody dies, and you're just overwhelmed with this sadness and this sense of loss, and there's a part of you that's sitting there going, this is so silly. Like, I'm literally not even watching people die. I'm watching a video screen that is projecting photons. Beyond that, what looks like people dying, even if I was watching it in person, these are just actors acting a thing out. And they're not even acting out a thing that really happened. They're just acting out a story that could potentially happen in a universe somewhat similar to ours. Um, and yet the monkey is sad and the monkey cries. Um, and that's fine and that's good and that's actually a wonderful, beautiful part of the human experience. But you can have a physical cramp, a mental cramp, an emotional cramp, and you can still relax. And the thing either relaxes or it doesn't. If you relax and it doesn't relax, well, that's okay. I mean, there are things you can do to it. There's massage, there's therapy, um, whatever. But you don't have to. The point is, and the point of this whole thing, this is philosophy, so it's not practical by itself, it's philosophy. The philosophy is, it's not hard to relax. Ease is a state of mind. It's always easy to relax. These things are the same. You never try to relax. You either relax or you try. It's always easy to relax. Relaxation and taking it easy are the same thing. It's always easy to relax. Relaxation is the easiest thing in the world. That is the point. And if you have a cramp, then you relax around the cramp. And you can always do that. You can always relax as much as you can relax. And like I said, that's philosophy. And so then you have to take that philosophy, as with all philosophies, and you have to see how it practically fits into your life. And I've given some examples, and I've sort of laid my shit bare so that people can see what it is. And I am honest and open, and I try not to gloss over the ugly parts or the parts that I don't think make me look good. So here we are. Just me taking my perfect little theories and going through this, quote, imperfect life, which is a whole nother topic, but there's no such thing as perfection or imperfection either. But my clean little theories and going into life, and life is never clean, because clean and sterile are the same thing. And so sterility is the opposite of life. If you sterilize something, you've removed all of the life from it. And so life is never neat. It's always order and chaos. It's kind of the process of chaos being ordered and order being, entropied, whatever, atrophied, order being turned into chaos and chaos being turned into order simultaneously in harmonious balance. That is life. And so it's never going to be clean. But in our internal lives, in our minds, we can create these little clean philosophies, but then we got to take them out in the world and in the world where it's messy, the best you can expect out of life is to be fresh. It can be fresh. It doesn't have to be dirty, but it's never going to be clean. So take the philosophy and apply it practically to your own life in your own way, or don't if you think it's a load of crap. But again, the philosophy is, and with this I'll close, it is always easy to relax. Ease and relaxation are the same thing. Ease is a state of mind. You can relax around anything that's happening. Anything that you can not relax is not actually you. It's your something, your body, your emotions, your minds. And you, the observer, can always relax. In fact, on some level, you are always relaxed. So relax.